Let's go ahead and get started by moving on to the next step where we set up the business information. We'll click Yes to proceed to the next step, and here we have the business maintenance form. Now in TPS, a business is what records the actual financial information in your clinic. So if you have multiple businesses operating under the same clinic, you'll want to create multiple businesses. Now what would constitute needing more than one business? Typically, if you submit your taxes separately from another entity, that would constitute another business. So if John's Chiropractics and Sarah's Physical Therapy submit their taxes separately from one another, they may want to have separate businesses within the system so they can track their accounts receivables, payments, refunds, so forth. Go ahead and get started by clicking the Next button. And here we can see another number assigned automatically by TPS. Starting with 1, the next business will be 2, 3, 4, and so on. Click Next. Here we have the name of your business. This is very important as it will go on most of your billing information, so make sure it is correct in regards to what insurance companies are expecting to see. Click Next. Here we have the address. Next again. A second address, such as something for a P.O. box if you have it. The city, state, zip. Next. A fax number if you'd like to record one. Your phone number. Next again. Here we have the contact person. This could be whoever typically takes calls within the office, or the office manager, or it could be blank if you'd like. Click Next. Here we have a section for the National Provider ID for the business. Here's where you'll put your group NPI and where it will pull from for most sections where the group NPI is required in your billing. If your business does not have a group NPI, you can put the provider's individual NPI here instead. Click Next. Patient receipt message is a bit of text that will go out on all the patient receipts you print out. Something simple like "Thank you for your payment" can be put in, and you can change this for something seasonal such as Happy Holidays. If you'd like nothing to appear, you can simply erase it, and then that section of the receipt will be blank. We'll go ahead and put it back in though. Go ahead and click Next. Here we have message current, message over 30, over 60, and then finally over 90. When you generate and print patient statements, you have the ability to print messages similar to the patient receipt message. Starting with current, this is for those who have balances that are not outstanding. Something simple like "Thank you for your patronage, please pay in a prompt manner," or again, you can leave that blank if you don't wish to put anything there. When a balance reaches over 30, 60, and 90 days, the message changes to report whatever's been entered in these fields, typically with an increasing severity as you get to 90, when you put in something very serious like "Your balance has been submitted to collections." Once again though, if you would like nothing to appear in that section of your patient statements, you can leave this blank. Click Next. Here we have the 1000A NM1 submitter type as non-person or person entity. This is strictly in regards to the 837 ANSI X12 billing format, and only in regards to that. Should you have any questions, please refer to the section of the videos that go over that on the other CDs. Click Next. Here we have more information in regards to XCharge if you've set an account up with them. This information will be provided by XCharge. Click Next. Here you see we've moved on to the next tab, Operating Balances, where your business balances are stored. The first section is the business license or universal business identifier. If you have one, you can enter it here. If not, you can leave it blank. This is mostly for recording purposes, as it doesn't typically get pulled into any bills or statements. Go ahead and click Next. Here we have the start date of the business. Let's say we started a year ago. Go ahead and click Next. The opening cash drawer records how much money you have on hand at the beginning of the day. This is for petty cash that's used in refunds or other things like getting supplies down the street in case you run out of pens or something. We can put in something like $100 for the day, and this is recorded and updated as you do your daily closing report. For instance, if I took in $200 in cash today, with $100 starting in my drawer, but I only deposit $100 of it, the next day my opening cash drawer would update to $200. Go ahead and click Next. Here we have the last close date. When doing your daily closing procedure, this field is updated with the date and time that you actually did the closing at. When walking through this for the first time, you do not need to enter anything into this section as it will be updated when you do your first closing. Click Next. Here we have the finance charge description, the finance charge days, and the annual percentage charge. If you're an office that will be charging finance charges for overdue balances, here's where you'll enter in the pertinent information. This first section up here is the description of the finance charge itself. You could change it to something like overdue charge or overdue penalty fee, whatever you'd like. The finance charge days is the amount of days a balance has to be overdue before the finance charge is applied. If we go back a step, we could put in something like 30 days. Next, we have the annual percentage charge. If you want to do a charge of 1% per month, for instance, you would put in something like 12 for each month. Finally, we have the finance charge minimum amount. Let's say you really want to implement finance charges, but some percentages on some balances would be too small to even bother with. But they're not paying, so there needs to be some sort of penalty. Here you can put in a flat minimum amount, such as $1 or $5 or however much you'd like. Once entered, click Next. Here we have a drop-down that has a list of patient statements that can be selected as your default patient statement layout. What that means is when you're running your patient statements in the billing section, whichever one selected will be the default form type that displays in the billing. This can be changed manually later on, but if you're going to be using one more often than another, you would want to select it here. Go ahead and click Next. Similar to the drop-down above, we have the patient receipt layout. Here we can select the default receipt that will be printed when the patients are charged for their services and make their payments at the end of visit. Click Next. Here we have the accounts receivable for the business at last closed and for the current month and year. Now most likely your business isn't just getting started upon purchasing the TPS, so you'll want to enter in the information from your old program or your books or wherever it's coming from. It's very important though that you enter this information exactly as it needs to be so that TPS can track it properly as your business continues to grow. However, if your business is just getting started for the first time, you want to leave these figures blank as you have not taken in any payments, refunds, etc. Go ahead and click Next. You'll notice you've moved on to the final tab over here called Payment Adjustments. This is where payment adjustments are recorded via the 835 electronic remittance processing. The 835 electronic remittance is a feature of the program that allows you to accept electronic EOBs to automatically post payments from your clearinghouse and carriers. Sometimes business level adjustments are made and are recorded here as they can't be applied to a particular patient's claim. Nothing is added here manually and it's all done automatically through the 835 electronic remittance, which has gone over in later CDs. Click Next. We are now done with the business section of TPS. If you have more businesses you'd like to add, please click Yes to continue adding more businesses. Otherwise, click No to move on to the next step where we go over adding facilities into the program.